Hey, what's up? This is Chosen. Happy Monday to you, and I hope you all had a great holiday. Those of you that were celebrating Thanksgiving this weekend, I know I was traveling a lot, like 3 different days. I was traveling, driving around, doing different things, not at home, not in the studio, but finally it's Monday and back to normal life. Time to get some videos done, get some streams done, and catch up because we've got a lot of craziness going on in Raid Shadow Legends heading into this week. So many different things happening. Summoning events for different champions, a new champion in Elva. We've got different offers in the shop. I don't want to close this one because it'll disappear, so I want to grade it first. All sorts of summoning events and rebalancing of things like Pixneal. So we have got a lot to get context on this week, and I'll do my best to get you some first reactions to this stuff to keep you in the loop. So let's get into it. Alrighty, so first of all, before we can go forward, we got to grade this to see if it's any good. Okay, we got 100k with 10 brews and then 1 of each shard. Let's go 1, 1, 1. And it grades out as 24. So a decent one compared to what we're normally going to see in game. And this is going to be the best you'll ever see sacred shards in game. Usually Plarium way overvalues them. So this one coming in at 24 for high spenders is probably decent. It's not an amazing offer for those that are towards the lower end of spending though. But we'll go over some of the other offers in the shop a little bit later. I want to talk about this post that Plarium put out earlier today, a few hours ago, to celebrate Cyber Week in Raid. A bunch of opportunities coming up to strengthen your champion collection. 3 days of summon boost that are going to be coming for some of Raid's most wanted champions. So first up, they're going to be starting today, Monday and Tuesday. There's going to be a 10x chance for Motherboard, HyperX from Ancients and Sacreds. And then at the same time, there is going to be a 10x for summoning a Crisia. Now, when I pop up the summoning portal in game, you can see right there we've got the indicator that just for today, the 10x for a Crisia, and then Motherboard and HyperX. Now, all of these champions are very good. A Crisia is a new Void Legendary that is great to have in your account, is a game-changing damage dealer. Lots of fun in places like the Hydra. And then some good damage dealers over there on the right side for the non-Void champions in Motherboard and HyperX. So I totally understand if someone is close to Mercy, ripping some shards for a Crisia or something, if you're really close on the Void Mercy. I don't know that I would YOLO a bunch of Ancients or especially Sacreds because we're probably going to be having a guaranteed event for Elva coming up from Sacreds. So you may not want to rip those Sacreds just yet. And we've done so many events recently that I doubt there's a ton of people holding on to a bunch of Ancient Shards. I know even me, I got ran pretty dry on Ancient Shards and had to spend thousands of gems for some of the events going on recently for Ancient Shards. But then if we pull that post back up, we've also got on Tuesday to Thursday launching a guaranteed event, the opportunity to get your hands on Elva Autumnborn, one of the better legendaries from the new faction, the Sylvan Watchers. And then lastly, on Monday, November 28th, which is today, there's going to be a champion training tournament where you can either win Dirindil or Bad Alcazar, depending on your level. And that is indicated right here under the tournaments tab, where for the next 3 days or so, you've got a champion training tournament to either win Battle or Dirindil based on the level of your account. Usually it's like anybody under level 40 or level 60 is going to go after the epic champion. And then at a certain level, like the more end game accounts are going to go after the legendary. So you can see my tournament group up there up top is going to be going after Bad Alcazar. Now it's day 1. Somebody's already at 11,000. So it's probably going to take like 50 to 75,000 points, I would guess, to win the Bad Alcazar on average. Most people are going to probably fall in that bracket. If you're in a group where people aren't going hard in the paint, like if number 1 was at 2,400 and these 2 people that are going crazy weren't here, it'd be something I'd think about scooping up an empowerment level of Battle. But it looks like somebody's going to be willing to go to 50, 60k to win Battle. But just keep an eye on your group, depending on what you are going for, the epic or the legendary, to see if it makes sense for you to kind of chase it or not. And then we've got a couple balance changes coming as well. So starting with Pixniel, going to be getting a little bit of change. Let's see if this is going to be noteworthy or not. It's actually the second time that Pixniel is getting adjusted to try and bring her into relevancy in the realm of Raid Shadow Legends. Now, a big reason why the Pixniel really struggles to get relevancy is 18 books. It's just way too many to justify an investment into a champion unless they're going to be very game-changing. So let's see if this is going to be worth it. We've got the A1. We're just going to place a Perfect Veil. There is no more chance. And it looks like they removed cannot place on this champion. So we're going to attack one enemy and just place Perfect Veil on the ally with the lowest HP. That'll make that ability a lot more consistent and function a lot better within the power creep of the game. And then it looks like we're getting a change to the A3 where the multipliers are going to increase, and then it's just going to be an AoE. It's not going to be 5 times at random, and it looks like it is going to be a guaranteed 100% chance to place a freeze once it is booked. That says 80%. That's for the default ability. I bet it can be booked up to 100% chance to do an AoE freeze, and hopefully it hits decently hard. This doesn't say what it increased to as far as the damage. And then the passive is also getting changed. It looks like this is going to be functioning a lot simpler. It is just going to be immune to freeze debuffs. That's great. That's what it should have always been for Pixniel. And then also fill the champion's turn meter by 25% every time an ally receives a freeze. So this could be an opportunity to counter like a tournament or something in Tag Team Arena. And then at the end of every single enemy or ally turn, remove all freeze from all allies. So you're just going to be constantly wiping them away and removing those freeze debuffs at any time that someone takes a turn. And then it looks like without being booked, it's going to start with a cooldown of the effect there, but you're probably going to be able to book that down to not having a cooldown because obviously they're going to change. Right now, you can see it says buff debuff chance, and it goes up like 5% for the 3 levels, but now they're going to be adjusting that to cooldown. And the aura is also getting adjusted to ally resistant all battles of 60. I miscropped it too soon, but yeah, switching from all only arena to all battles, but it's only going to be 60 instead of 80. So is it enough? I mean, the 18 books, Pixniel's got to be insane. We got to see what the multiplier is, maybe get a bump in the base stats, and going to be a specialist, a really good specialist versus freeze for sure. I could see building like a defensive team where she's in there as a specialist to go against all the Torment teams in a Tag Team Arena or something where you don't have to worry about resisting the freezes or letting them pop off or anything, because anytime someone takes a turn, it's going to wipe them away. Is it going to be worth, like, I don't know. I'm going to have to see. I'm going to have to get in there. I do have a Pixniel, so I'm going to have to get in on the test server or on my account here and test Pixniel to see if this is going to be enough to bring her into being justified for the books and the investment to build her. Then also getting a little bit of an adjustment to Bellinor and how the tandem ability works with Xavia. Now, Bellinor is not a bad champion. He definitely has roles in the game. But they're going to be changing the insurmountable to basically cannot be resisted. So he already places the defense down and the weaken. But we're going to be not able to resist those if Xavia is on the same team. It's going to be very consistently performing. And then place Perfect Veil on this champion for 2 turns. I believe that is then place Perfect Veil, but yeah, so that part's the same. I don't know why that is in bold. Am I missing something? Then places a Perfect Veil buff on the champion for 2 turns. Also places a Perfect Veil buff on the champion for 2 turns. Okay, maybe I'm missing it, but it seems like that's not changed, so I don't know why it's in bold. Interesting. Okay. But anyway, then we're going to be also getting a activation of the Overkill, which is going to be a different skill. So right now it says it activates this champion's sword leader skill, which is just the A1. But now it's going to be activating Overkill, which is the A3. So the partnership tandem of like dungeon speed farming or something with Bellinor and Xavia will be a lot more powerful. But what's unfortunate about the tandem between Bellinor and Xavia is they're both really good champions for farming and getting stuff done, but you can't use them as a team in Faction Wars because it is High Elves and Dark Elves. So you really have to build like a specific team for a specific dungeon or something. It'd be a lot of fun if you could take advantage of that duo in Faction Wars or something, but we cannot with Bellinor and Xavia. Also, some epics getting a couple changes here. We've got Alika going to be getting a change on the A3 here, this Disorient ability, where it is going to be increasing the cooldown of all enemy skills by 2 turns. That's pretty crazy for an epic champion. When this thing's booked, it's going to be a 3-turn cooldown. Alika is going to be awesome for Faction Wars because the AoE, she already does a decent amount of damage. Increasing cooldown of all enemy skills by 2 turns. That's really, really good for an epic champion. Now, the Barbarian's one of the easier factions typically for people to complete, but Alika will be a great option to build for being able to deal with those waves and progress in the Barbarian factions. And honestly, could be a decent option for some of those more CC, slower Doom Tower compositions where you just constantly increase the cooldown of the enemy waves and be able to kind of 3-star some content and progress in the Doom Tower. And then Crypt Witch. A lot of you probably didn't even know Crypt Witch existed, but Crypt Witch is an epic in the Night Revenant, getting some adjustments. Now, a cool thing about Crypt Witch is I know this helm means something. It's like peace, love, and war are these words on the helm translated to English. Let me know if I'm wrong, but it's something like that. Peace, love, and war here on Crypt Witch's helm. But what we're getting here on the A2 is going to attack 3 times at random instead of 2. And each hit will also ignore 15% of defense just inherently, naturally on the ability. And then the ability here for the A3 getting a slight adjustment, where it is basically going to flip-flop the effect of the ability. Right now, it's ignore 50% of the target's defense if the target is faster than this champion, which is going to make it completely irrelevant for PvE content. But it's going to flip-flop to if Crypt Witch is faster than the target. So it'll be a lot more reliable in terms of being a damage dealer here for the epic. But this should have a book to a 3-turn cooldown, in my opinion. That way, Crypt Witch would have a good cycle of 3-3 when fully booked. So I don't know that it's going to be good enough to make Crypt Witch relevant, but definitely a lot better than she was. And this video is going to be super long, but there's a lot going on. I want to talk about the event for Elva that is coming soon, and we are getting word that it's going to be 20 sacred shards. Now, let me pull up our guaranteed summoning graphic here. And you will quickly see they have never done 20 sacreds for a champion. So unfortunately, it is going up. The most we ever saw was Helior for 15, Wither for 15, Sishia was down at 12, and then Nekmathar was at 15. And now over here, we are going to be getting Elva for 20 sacreds. So an unfortunate trend that it is going up. I wish it would have stayed at 15. So definitely unfortunate. There's not going to be very many players that have 20 sacreds, and the price that Plarium charges in game for sacreds is literally like $20 or $25 a piece. So you're talking like $200 to $300 probably if you wanted to like buy sacreds, and you can't even buy them infinitely. So even for somebody who's a hyper whale, they're not just going to be able to spend like $300 to get Elva probably, unless they start dropping offers with like 5, 10 sacreds in them. So it is usually tough to make that happen even for high spenders. And that is unfortunate because a lot of people are going to want to pull for Elva, but it's going to be very unrealistic for a lot of people. Now, I'm lucky enough to have been playing for almost 4 years and being very diligent with my sacreds and my clan boss rewards and stuff. So I've earned enough to be able to pull for Elva. So I'm going to have to think on it. It's a lot of sacreds, but let's go over Elva here as a champion, and we'll talk about if I think I'm going to or not. First of all, Elva is one of the best legendaries in a new faction, which is great because I'm going to want to build a good Sylvan Watchers team when that crypt unlocks here in a few months. We've got the A1 that does continuous heal for 2 turns on the ally with the lowest HP. Now Elva scales with attack, but similar to a champion like Battle Khazar, that doesn't matter. We're not going to be building for damage on this champion. Then we've also got a booked up AoE cleanse on a 3-turn cooldown, which is super good, while also placing block debuffs and increased speed, which are 2 insane buffs with an AoE cleanse with a 3-turn cooldown. This is an insanely consistent ability for any area of the game. And then the A3, we get a revive and then increased defense and increased attack on that ally for 2 turns. It is a 3-turn cooldown. It is a single target revive. The passive is going to heal each ally by 10% of their max HP at the start of their turn, and then also place a perfect veil for 1 turn on the ally with the lowest HP at the end of this champion's turn. And we get an aura of all battle speed. So I mean, the A2 is it for Elva. This is an insane ability on a 3-turn cooldown, the AoE cleanse with 2 crucial buffs in block debuffs and increased speed. So obviously an insanely good champion, probably a top 25, top 30-ish legendary in the game. Going to be useful for basically any content, a defensive team for tag team arena, a progression champion to help clear dungeons, really good early game, mid game, end game. Can stick Elva in a Hydra team for all the general utility. Just an awesome champion for basically any account out there. So Yeah, pulling 20 sacreds is rough. I'm gonna have to get a poll on the channel here, get a little bit of data from other creators and other players like you in the community, and then maybe we'll upload a video tomorrow morning having a deep dive discussion and get you a final answer on the full context of trying to pull or not pull for Elva Autumnborn. So remember to keep tabs on the community tab here on the channel, where I'm always hosting like 4 or 5 polls a week to try and keep a pulse of what the player base is feeling. So wow, lots going on, and I want to wrap up here here soon because I don't want to take all of your day doing this video here. So if you are trying to keep pace with the Hospital Fusion, remember you are going to want to make sure and get your classic arena fights in today, because that is going to be ending soon. And then you've also got to dive into the Dragon and get 1,800 points over there on the right side to make sure you're not missing out on those 15 fragments over there. And there's also a Dungeon Divers event that's going to be starting tomorrow. So all of that is pretty normal and par for the course. There's also a summon rush going on if you are pulling for all of the craziness going on. This one actually ends today. It's going to be part of the Acrisia 10X and all of that. And oh my goodness, we've got the Arbiter. Wait a minute here. So, okay. So, can you imagine all the people that bought this this Arbiter skin for the full 50, and now it's $25 here. They lowered the price on it. So I'm surprised they did that. Okay. So that is very interesting, and let's go ahead and this video has already been so long, but I want to at least dive in here and talk about what's going on in the shop. So Cyber Monday gift. Well, that's nice of them. Look at that. Okay, that's great. Very nice. Okay, I like that from them doing something nice here for the community. This one here, I mean, if you're a high spender and you're gonna be pulling for Elva, probably a decent one to pick up there. I mean, you know what? Let me plug this in. And boom, yeah, that one grades out as a 28 and it only cost 20. So I'd say that's pretty good. It's one of the better offers you're gonna see from Plarium. A $20 offer that grades out as a $28 in value compared to their standard packs. So for high spenders, I would say that's definitely a pickup. This one 25. Well, let's see which one's better between the triplet pack series here. The one with Ursaga or the one with Tuaneric. And okay, which by the way, the last pack that I graded is slightly worse, just barely. I accidentally left the 9 XP brews in there, so it'd be like a few cents lower. It wasn't perfectly accurate, but this next one here is grading out pretty well. The 2 Lego Tomes, the 3 Void Shards, the 4 Ancient Shards, and the 1 Sacred. I don't have anything else mixing it up. Okay, coming out as $39, and it is $25 in game. So I would say the one with the 2 Legendary books is definitely the better of the 2 in my opinion. And then what about this one here? This one has a purchase limit of 3, and boom, that one comes out at $48.30 with a price of 30. So yeah, I mean, all these triplet packs are pretty decent offers for some of the higher spenders, and there's some of the better offers that we've seen recently. I'm still waiting to get like a godly offer, like if this pack was $19.99, then it would be just an insane offer. I'd be like, okay, anybody that spends money on Raid, you got to scoop this up. I haven't seen like one of those insane bombshell offers, but this triplet pack has some of the better stuff you're going to see from them typically. Anything else noteworthy here? Black Friday. We already did that one. It's all right, but it's not amazing. The Cyber Week, again, all right, but not amazing. And then they finally came. So yeah, the triplet pack is the best one that I'm seeing in the shop, and those grade out pretty favorably compared to some of the average stuff you're going to see in the shop from them. And oh my goodness, on the way out when I close the shop, we've got another, oh my goodness, dude. Plarium has gone crazy this last like month or two with just the shard events and the offers and the skins and the events. And this is, you know, I've been playing Raid since the early days, since day one. Well, not quite day one, I don't want to exaggerate, but right away, like right after the beta, I've been here since the beginning. And this is definitely the craziest the game has been with events and new factions and new things and new types of tournaments and events and champion training, making people fight against each other, and skins deals and triplet packs and offers and lightning offers, like the constant summoning events, the 10x, the guaranteeds. Like, it is ramping at a pace that I've never seen before. It's just constant barrage of stuff going on. So I don't know if they're trying to round out the end of the year here and have an insane revenue like finish to the year. But yeah, it's definitely been wild recently for sure. It's just constant craziness going on. But I have blabbered at you for long enough today. I wanted to give you some gut reaction to some of the stuff going on and cover the news for you as some of us get back to normal after traveling for holidays and seeing family and stuff. I know for me, it's been a crazy last few days where I was barely at home. But as of today and tonight, we are back at the grind. I'm going to get back to streaming on like Twitch and YouTube. And I didn't even get into some of the stuff going on the test server. I don't even know what's happening with some of the new champions and stuff going on. I'm working behind the scenes to get access to the test server. Hopefully I live stream that, test some stuff, and get you some context here on the channel for everything going on. We are back at that grind. So remember to subscribe on your way out if you enjoy daily Raid Shadow Legends content. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon in the next video. Have a great start to your week. Peace.